Cheers, folks. Welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. A monumental occasion day, monumentous occasion day for
an
Beer
infamous
Guys
day.
An infamous day. This is our last session recording in this studio.
Yes.
And it will be our last radio broadcast of the Beer Guys Radio Show.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, the next one won't be even. Okay.
Correct. But Beer Guys Radio does live on. We will continue to be a podcast. So, and that's going to afford us some freedoms. We've got some new branding that we're going to go live with soon.
Yes,
Brian. So, but y'all, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us here on Wednesday. We'll keep the Wednesday schedule so nothing's messed up. We'll keep our Wednesday as much as possible. Keep our Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern schedule.
It's more for my benefit. Well, both of our benefits. I'm used to it. Like if we did it on a different day, it would just throw my entire week.
Yeah. And you know, when you have a schedule that you're set to, even if you don't have to, if you have a set schedule, it really helps you to stay consistent with things.
Yeah.
And a special treat that is just crazy exciting to me, Smalls is here.
I'm here.
How the heck are you?
Good.
Good. It's good to have Smalls back around. And she's been running around a lot, doing things like work and weddings, her own.
Yeah, like getting married and things like that.
She's now Mrs. Smalls.
Mrs. Smalls.
So, yeah.
You took her name. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Orion, the Becky's better half, right?
I think I'm the better.
Yeah. Okay.
Half,
I was going to see how you go with that. See how you go with that.
That only works when you're talking to guys.
Yeah. That's my better half.
No,
she's
it's
like,
not.
he's right.
No.
He is correct there. But yeah, so we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to drink some nice beers and do a little reminiscing.
Yes.
And, maybe share some news in there
like
too.
Bernice needs to be part of the live
We
stream.
could take her legs off and put her in the chair there. Nate, could you move
that'd be a
Bernie?
little
Could you
creepy,
give
but
Bernice
yeah.
a chair? Who's I mean,
Are you actually going to pull her?
We got to disassemble her anyhow.
Yeah.
So
Do we remember how we
will
did
it work
that the first
that
time
easily?
around?
yeah, it's just like a twist and plug in thing. So
See, it's getting weird and so semi-pornographic.
I need
here.
video of this actually.
Oh yeah, did we have the video of you guys trying to put the arms on for her?
Oh gosh,
yeah,
was
the shirt.
That's fucking Brian.
Yeah,
Brian is such a chill guy, but every now and then something will just really piss him off. And those
arms.
mannequin arms,
Her arms pissed me
was
off.
definitely
Yeah,
a
I
trigger
don't.
point.
I don't know why.
So-
Now, do we need a box or something underneath?
We might. She's a little shorter
She's
than me.
just hanging off to the side.
She's there.
Will the
She's
bucket
there.
work? Yeah,
There
okay.
you go.
Right.
Yeah,
On the internet, nobody knows you're a mannequin on a bucket.
that's
There we
right.
go. All right.
There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. Welcome. This is the first show Bernice has actually been
That's
on.
right. Yeah, we've mentioned it. You know what?
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned Bernice, but I don't think anybody that
don't
hasn't
think
been
they
in here
has
knows
seen
that
her.
Bernice is
Yeah.
a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is Bernice. She was always watching off to the side for us there, but
Sometimes she was giving that side eye.
yeah, but we figured this is a good time to have her join us on the show. So
Oh, cool. I love it when both cans come
make it
and
to you.
end with me. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
finish off both of them.
I feel like there's another joke there with getting both cans.
Right.
That's right. Yes.
Same time.
Giggity. Quite nice indeed.
That is tasty. What is that one, Brian?
This is Highland Brewing's Trailbound, a hazy juicy ale. Doesn't even say IPA, just hazy juicy ale.
Okay. Okay.
I assume it's an IPA. Maybe not. Why does anything have to be an IPA? These days, it can just be hazy.
Hazy juicy ale. That's
Yes.
it. That's where we are. Have a good time with it. All right. We're going to do a little radio. We'll be back in 9-10 minutes. Let's do this.
Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Brian Hewitt.
Welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are broadcasting from the Beer Guys Radio Studios in Marietta, Georgia. Big week for us. This week, we're going to talk about Beer Guys Radio, really a good bit.
Yeah, a fair amount.
And maybe some beer news. We'll get into it. But I am Tim Dennis. With me, as always, my good friend and co-host, Brian Hewitt, and more importantly,
Oh,
Becky Smalls.
Hello.
Smalls, how you been?
Delightful. Good. Busy as always.
Busy, running and running and running. That's
I've
the way
been
it goes.
demoted.
Yeah, that's it. That's good friend, more important.
You know, the beards are so out, Brian. Come on.
That's
right.
that's true. I am
Buns
behind
are
the
in,
times.
Beers are out. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna comb the beard up to the top and put it in a bun.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you gonna do
A beard bun.
split it?
That's a good idea. I was thinking
Yeah.
one side, but splitting it might be a little
Well,
bit
one
better.
side would be kind of like 80s. If you
I
want to
really
rock that.
shouldn't have trimmed it earlier today because it was getting a little wild and crazy. I should just let it go because it's gonna be that's that much longer until I can pull it up into a bun.
So him talking about doing the single strand side pony bun beard makes me think he needs like leg warmers and such.
Yes.
I see him bouncing around doing jazzercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, with your single side pony beard.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I don't know what to make of that, but all right, Tim.
Yeah, go for it. Brian, how the heck are you?
I'm doing well. So, as you said, we are going to talk about some interesting developments, big changes to this show, but also some craft beer stats, another big name in the beer world shutting down U.S. operations, and some interesting developments in non-alcoholic beer. It's going to be a whole lot of show today.
It is a whole lot of show. We'll get to what we can for sure. But we want to start with a shout out, Brian. We want
Yes.
to thank Tyler Smurr. He is our newest Patreon supporter. Tyler's from Texas, and we've chatted a good bit. He keeps us up to date on what's happening in Texas beer, his favorite breweries and stuff there. So, Tyler, thank you so much for your support. We do greatly appreciate it.
And he has access to the new Discord server of ours.
He
So
does.
He can
He's
chat
in
with
Discord. We can chat, talk beer.
almost 24/7.
We do talk beer occasionally on our Discord server. Sometimes we talk pickles.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pickle
We
chat.
do talk pickles, which is important, but just kind of anything going on. Video games, I think.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Brewing. We have a brewer, a couple brewers on there that talk about what they're up to.
I think cheese comes up a fair
Cheese
amount because
definitely
cheese is a
comes
big,
up,
interesting
yeah.
topic, and
Usually
we are
knives.
overdue for
Yeah.
a trip to Capella, but that's another stop.
It is,
Another
but yeah, beer
topic
chat
entirely.
with related topics or
Yes.
just whatever's on our mind. But Brian, as we mentioned last week, and I will reiterate now, this, Brian, is our final session in our studio here in Marietta, Georgia. It is also our final radio broadcast. So we want to thank everybody who's listened to us on the radio over these last 7 years, Brian. 7
Yeah,
years
7.
plus that we've been doing this. But if you are a radio listener, we're not going away. We're not going away. So don't cry for us, Argentina. But you're going to have to get us on your podcast app.
Well, I don't think they hear us in Argentina. They probably
So,
already hear us.
Well,
on
they do the
podcasts.
podcast.
Yeah, okay.
So then they won't cry for us, is what you're.
They're like they
All
already
right,
know. I'm
dude.
like, it doesn't affect
That's
us.
fine. We're
Yeah.
good. But yes, if you do listen on the radio, please know that we're going to take a week off.
Yes.
And then we're going to take a week off the 22nd. We've got one more show coming. We've got a week break. And then we will, for lack of a better term, relaunch BGR 2.0 as podcast only. So get on your favorite podcasting app, subscribe now so you don't miss anything.
Exactly.
Right.
I couldn't say it better myself.
Better yet, become a Patreon.
Patron, get on there.
Yes,
Yeah,
get on there.
support.
Get on
Get on
Discord.
there.
Chat
Come give
with
us some
us.
support. Get
There
in the
you go.
Discord chat. Talk
Yeah.
about pickles
That's right.
or whatever tickles
Make
your
fun
fancy.
of Brian's beard. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you could even talk about beer. It's not prohibited on our Discord.
It's not.
We,
It's
we,
not.
we don't often,
No.
but yeah.
But y'all, Brian, Becky, Nate, Orion is here, which is Becky's worst half. So I
worse
think
half.
we established that
Yes,
earlier, right?
yes.
But 7 years, y'all, a lot
Yeah.
has happened in 7 years. We launched the show January 2nd, 2016 on AM 920 in Atlanta, Georgia. And we were going to be just a local beer show. You know, I think we had a little over 40 breweries maybe in the state at the time. And you know what? We did a newsletter at the time, This Week in Georgia Beer, and we could seriously put every single event in the entire state in a newsletter. And it just grew toward, you know, that just wasn't possible. But Brian, what's your favorite? You got involved pretty early. You weren't co-host right out of the gate. That was Aaron Williams.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Aaron and I started the show, but you joined fairly quickly as our what do we call you?
Beer operative?
Field operative.
The field operative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I became the news guy, and then when Aaron left, I just kind of took over what he
Right
was
into
doing,
co-hosting.
and,
Yeah.
did a better job than him.
That's true. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Aaron
Shots
didn't know
fired,
anything-
Aaron. If you're
Aaron didn't
listening,
know anything about radio. He'd never done it before.
No, that's
that
true.
Was
Yeah.
the thing.
I didn't either, but
Some people are
faked
natural,
it.
Brian.
I faked it better than he did. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's something that's memorable or a favorite for you over these years?
Oh, man, show wise, like, so just thinking about the episodes, the beer archaeologists, Travis Rupp, that show where we talk about, when we talk about beer history, and they're always finding new sources of beer, new beer halls, new brewing evidence from thousands and thousands of years ago. I love that. Let's see, Dan Carey, having him on, talking to him. Now it's skipping my name, but the hair of the dog dude, getting to finally talk to him after drinking his beer.
Alan Sprints.
Yes, that's right. And man, there's so many good episodes. You know, it's hard to pick a favorite one, but those are some of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smalls, how about you? Favorite episode or moment or anything over the last several years?
Oh man, mine are always when we get to travel.
Yeah.
I like doing those.
Right.
Like going down to GABF or down to Florida when we got to do the show down there. I travel for my day job, so of course I love going out in the field and doing stuff. But then of course we've had so many great guests, like the Nuclearis, like that was fabulous. That Brian stumped him with a question.
That was good.
Deep digging.
Part of the reason I like that.
I love like the 12 beers of Christmas. That's always fun.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm with you, Smalls. The travel, and really, I know it's a cheesy kind of answer, but it's the people, the friends we made along the way. But we have met a lot of great people. You know, we've made a lot of great connections on that. There was something related to the news that we've got later, but non-alcoholic beer, we've really seen the boom, the entire boom
from
of
the
that.
very beginning.
Our show started before Athletic Brewing was even founded. You know, so we've seen them go from non-existence to, purged to be there or poised to be the 15th largest craft brewer in the U.S.
Yeah, seriously. And they're already top 20 probably by the stats that I've seen so far. Yeah.
Right. But we met, of course, Marcus Serta, who at our station WVMT up in Burlington, Vermont. We've got John Joplin and Greg Tisch down at WVFT, I think, in Tallahassee.
Yes, I believe that's right.
Really cool people there. And then, just all the brewers everywhere. We've got brewers across the country that have said, find me if you're in town, so we could go anywhere. Some that may have resorts on there. They might probably have forgotten by now, but Von Trapp said they'd put us up in their lodge there if we got up there. We didn't act on that soon enough, I don't think.
That was another favorite moment because that was one of the first, I think it was one of the very first shows we ever recorded here in this building.
Okay.
And we didn't have the studio yet. And I think it was very new to being co-hosting at that point in time. I remember how good that Pilsner was and how interesting everything about that story was. The Sound of Music people and their beer is amazing. And they invited us to come up and visit. Now we haven't, but
I take advantage of that when I travel for work.
Sure.
I'll go visit the breweries that we've spoken with and just introduce myself. And they get super excited to actually meet somebody from the crew. So,
see?
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's when I was in San Diego last year. I went to Lost Abbey, and Tommy Arthur was there. And I was like, "Hey, Tommy," I was like, "It's Tim Dennis, from Beer Guys Radio. We had you on the show a while ago." He's like, "Oh, cool."
He's like, "Who?" Oh, you.
That guy.
He's like, "I'm about to go meet with some people from the Brewers Association." I was like, "Okay," and then that was it. So that one wasn't as memorable, but we've interviewed Adam Carolla. We've interviewed the guys from Foreigner.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're good buddies with the guys from Nappy Roots that we met through beer. They're supposed to be coming up to the studio tonight, so we may have them here a
we
little
almost
later.
interviewed that one band.
That's one
time.
band. Yes, they wanted a lot from us, though. They wanted a lot.
Dude from Manchester Orchestra, the
of course, Tim Berry.
That was another
Berry.
favorite. He was hanging out in here, talking about drinking beers.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with a drummer from Manchester Orchestra. How
Drinking
great
beers.
is this?
Yeah. So we've met cool people. We've met celebrities. We became friends with a lot of cool people. And most of my friendships are beer related these days just because I'm so kind of embedded in that. That's right. Did you say awesome?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of my friends are drinking buddies.
All my friends are drinking buddies. Awesome. Well, y'all, we need to take us a quick break. You are listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we'll be back right after this. Guess maybe we'll come in with the beers of the week, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We ought to
Yeah.
because we have some really cool beers of the week. So
cool.
definitely worth
Got a comment there. What do we got? Tyler, cheers, Tyler. Cheers. Freetail. Okay.
I think
Cool.
That sounds familiar. I don't know if I've ever had one of their beers, but I know the name.
That's what I was trying to think. I know I'm familiar with them. Yeah. Tyler, I don't know if you heard it, but we did give you a shout out and a thank you for joining Patreon. We definitely appreciate that.
Oh, I definitely would have heard about that because I was in San Antonio for a wedding. It wasn't mine in this particular instance.
Not in this case.
Yeah.
Or mine.
Yeah, it wasn't yours
or
either.
Smalls, right. Did you guys get any, was there any beer during the wedding events?
No,
What?
Well, we had the kids and we were really super busy, but during
that kind of Vegas trip.
Right.
Next
Yeah.
But it was funny during the vows. So we had like an insider joke about Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So he wrote pretty much every other line in his vows was talking about Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. And then we did a shot, a pseudo shot of it because you weren't allowed to have alcohol in the chapel. So we had to swap it out and put apple juice in there. But it was kind of funny.
All right. I'm kind of surprised by that in Vegas.
It's
I
Vegas.
guess they don't want you getting completely sloshed. And
Now you're going to
to
tell me they wouldn't let you smoke cigars right there at the altar either, right? Is that
what was their?
No, we didn't try that.
What was their
okay.
stance on cocaine?
Yeah.
So
I mean, they let me blow an unknown substance in the air. It could have been
Okay.
Oh,
anything.
I was going to say to let you do what now? Okay.
Elvis was like, "This is the best wedding I've ever officiated over." So
He did come up to us and tell us that.
yeah.
He's like, "Yo, guys are fun."
He's like, "You're fun." He's like, "Thank you for rolling with it." I'm like, "Who pays for you and doesn't roll with it?"
Yeah. Could you imagine being really uptight about the whole thing and you're like, you have Elvis officiating?
Yeah, I'm like, this is not going to be serious. We're going to roll, have fun.
Yeah. That's that. You'd have to, right? You'd have to. Yeah. You better shape up. Your jacket was a grease jacket, right?
Well, yeah, it had
Or it's supposed to be?
it was supposed to be something like that. And I put Mrs. Smith on the back. Yeah.
Good times. Good times. Did I ever tell you about my wedding?
No.
So my wedding, my ex was into these little figurine things called precious moments.
Oh yeah, man, that's a big thing back in like the 80s or whatever.
Yeah. So she was in those, and the guy that invented those actually has. It's not really a theme, a place in Carthage, Missouri, where he's got like a little museum of his work, and they have a chapel on an island shaped like a heart with like pink cobblestone sidewalks so it's a very cutesy kind of place. So anyhow, I was married at the Precious Moments Island. In the chapel, yeah. So, but of course, at the time, that was what my then wife wanted, and she was thrilled with it. So, so be it.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life.
That's what I've heard, but it didn't work out that way for me.
That's right.
And Tim's life has been miserable ever since. Mine was interesting. I actually got married twice. Once I went to a courthouse, and a year later I went back to Oregon and got married in a coastal town.
Was it the same person?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay, I mean, otherwise there's a story.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, I assume so. I mean, some people say I'm not very observant, so maybe I got fast one got pulled on me, but I believe so. Yeah, it was kind of neat.
Brian now has 2 Malaysian wives. So.
Possibly they may tag in like they switch off, and one goes back. And
funny
I'm like,
is if like they didn't look anything alike, and Brian was just so oblivious.
That would be a perfect sitcom.
That would be.
Yeah. I just like,
just
you know
so
what?
Oblivious.
Did you do something different with your hair? Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh okay. All
as
right.
long as there's food, there's eggs on Sunday. He's like, this is fine.
It's fine.
This is fine.
So don't make life too difficult at home. Let me play, my video games and do my work and drink my beer and all that, and everything else is fine.
Brian's actually got a pretty good setup with his marriage because he Friday night is date night.
Yes,
he gets his Saturdays to do whatever he wants to, no questions. We usually go out drinking beer and doing all that. And Sunday he usually gets drug out to flower shows and other torturous events. Yeah, I've had to drive extremely long distances early in the morning to go see things like orchids. I went to an orchid show like 2 hours away. They got rained out when we got there, but you know what? It was an interesting trip, but hey, it's a small price to pay for being able to do whatever you want most of the time. As long as you hit your Friday date night and you're usually available for your Sunday stuff.
I see how he starts to put the mic down because I have more rules.
See, he's like, are you listening here? Are you listening?
It's not turned on anyway. So.
Yeah,
he's like,
that's part of the rules.
Part of the rules.
No mic
Sit
for
there and
you.
look pretty.
We date we date night on Friday. I do whatever I want Saturday. She's like, sure you do.
Yeah.
Sure you
Can
do.
I get that set up?
Yeah. You're right. You're like, that's the way you.
I remember those
Uh-huh.
days 7 years ago.
Mhm. Yep.
All right. Oh, hey,
Good times.
look at that. True
Good
Fountain.
times.
Yeah, I almost brought that one. I was like, I'm pretty sure there was one in the studio.
I also thought about it, and then I got busy and just forgot. But
Shame.
I did bring in
Shame.
the Doritos taco
Shame.
flavor, which
Taco
makes
Doritos.
up
But did you
for.
bring in roasted chicken and thyme chips from England?
I would like to point out Doritos taco flavor. I mean,
those are good. I can get those anywhere here in the States.
anywhere though.
But can you get these?
I don't
Well,
think so.
where are those? Oh, is that like a UK brand?
Yeah, it's UK. brand.
Oh,
yeah,
them's
I brought
good.
those home from when I was in the UK. Yeah.
Oh,
So those aren't even chips.
they're crisps.
They're
I'm
crisps.
sorry.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. They're crisps.
Yeah.
Crispy crisps.
Ooh. Oh man, the funky. Oh, did you? Oh, he's drinking directly from the bottle.
Delicious.
Okay.
Oh, totally. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, my other glasses.
Funky and fruity at the same time. I love
Funky,
that.
Funky.
Delicious.
All right, y'all. How about we jump back into some more of this radio?
Yeah. All right. Let's do that.
Video killed the radio star.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Your revolution is over, Mr. Lebowski. Condolences. The bum's lost.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Remember, all episodes are available on demand. So if you missed the broadcast, get the podcast. Beer Guys Radio is available on all popular and unpopular podcasting apps. Now let's get back to the show.
Brian, I think it's time for the beers of the week. So I'm going to tell everyone the beers of the week.
All right, you do that.
now. And I want to thank our sponsor, The Nest, for sponsoring this segment. Craft beer, barbecue, downtown Kennesaw, Georgia. Brian, they occasionally do fun things like maybe they do trivia just for fans of The Office.
Okay.
Or they did Titanic trivia lately. There's even my favorite shows. I don't know them well enough to do trivia on them, but
I'm
for
about
those-
the same. I don't
Yeah.
remember enough of the details. I'm surprised that people do, honestly.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me.
I guess that ties into our observance or whatever. I just enjoyed the thing at the time,
You're
but
not a fanatic.
right.
what you're trying
But
to
if
say.
you like Friends or Titanic or The Office enough to memorize it, then you need to check out The Nest for one of their trivia nights.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. But our beers, we've got a lot of really nice beers to get into. We started off with Highland Brewing's Trailbound Hazy Juicy Ale, which is very nice. We are currently on a Dryfontein Oud Goose, a 2018 vintage there. Because this is a special show, we're going to break out a See the Stars from Creature Comforts. Smalls, do you remember when that was released? I don't even remember now.
Is that
God, was
16?
It's got to be at least
been a while.
8
Yeah.
years ago.
Is it 8
Somewhere there.
years? Like
It was before the show started.
Well, I was going to say, was that before
that
we
was
even
like the
became a
first
show?
big, huge release.
no, Mike Nate may have an update.
2015.
Oh, God.
2015.
I feel old now.
Wow. Okay. So what is that?
About
8?
That.
Is that 8?
That is 8
Yeah,
years.
all right.
That's the way that works out. Yeah. And then, Brian, because of the situation tonight, we will get a Unibrew La Fin du Monde. So probably not literal for us, but I figured the drama of La Fin du Monde is our last beer in the studio. We're just going to do it.
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
just going to do it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian, so that's what we got going on. And we do, in spite of all the whining about our studio space and all that, we got some pretty hot news to share this week, right?
We do, yeah. Yes, we do. The first thing we've got is the IRI, indicating that craft beer dollar sales went down 4.8% in 2022. The U.S. craft beer segment was down 4.8% in dollars in 2022, says Scott Scanlon, the executive vice president of Bev AI Vertical at Information Resources Inc. in Chicago. For the 52-week period ending January 1st, 2023, craft beer sales totaled $4.7 billion, a 4.8% decrease in off-premise multi-outlets. Case sales were down 8.6% during that time frame, and the National Wholesalers Association March 2023 Beer Purchasers Index, say that really fast a couple of times, showed the craft index at 28. A reading greater than 50 indicates the segment is expanding, and as you guess, 28 is a lot less than 50. A reading below 50 indicates the segment is contracting. This indicates the craft segment is continuing to contract and is below the March 2022 reading of 47. That's a huge drop from 47 to 22. So that's, or 28, excuse me. That's giant contraction. The index for imports continues to point to expanding volumes with a reading of 62. So imports are doing well, comparatively speaking. It's not a great time for craft beer in terms of sales these days. And
that's
inflation is probably figuring into this a fair amount.
One note, Brian, you said the National Wholesalers Association. I do want to clarify that is the National Beer Wholesalers Association.
Beer wholesalers, excuse me.
And, I was kind of trying to ponder this and what it means. I think we know that, craft, I think the craft craze is down. I don't think we've got a bubble burst here or anything. 4.6 is a little bit of a slide. People are becoming more health conscious. There is a little bit more of NA beer in there. And I mean, even if that takes 1% away, something like that. So even if that takes like 1% away, that's not, it's not a massive amount, but it's worth taking note of because non-alcoholic beer is growing quicker than I think some people gave it credit that it would do. But we'll dive into that a little bit more in a minute, but that could be a piece of it. And I'm surprised with us coming out of the pandemic, though, that because I'm assuming that they're comparing these numbers like year over year. But did we have a lot of package sales during the pandemic? Maybe there was more there.
I think so, because people couldn't go out. So I think people were exceptionally unhealthy and drinking heavily when they were locked in their houses.
Except for me. But then also there was the whole issue with can shortages and things
like
that.
There
so
was,
I wonder if that kind of trickled in. And
and I just saw some news recently. I didn't dive into the full article, but it's like we're good on cans, basically. We've got a flow of cans now. So, that could be something. Yes, the can shortages, supply chain.
We had a CO2 shortage for a while too. Yeah. Like gas, CO2 shortage, which is really interesting to think, but it's not easy to just pull that out of the air, apparently. So kind of expensive to do that. So the guys that were making it, I think it was part of the process of making fertilizer. It was like a secondhand component that they could just turn around and sell to add profit onto the making of fertilizer, which was convenient for us, but when they had problems with that, it negatively impacted us.
I did not know that.
I
learned something new today.
Yeah, that's right. It's from an older story, I think.
I do think in the big picture, we know craft beer is down a little bit. We are seeing some closures. We see things happening all the time. We have, as we've talked about here on the show a few times, one of our favorites, Orpheus Brewing, is closing their tap room soon. And for me, it's going to be the final visit last weekend. And I had a good time. I think you said, Brian, you're going to try to get back down there again.
I'm going to try to make at least one more stop by there.
I need to make one more.
Yeah, you should.
I remember when they first opened, and it's so sad.
Yeah, I know. That's what we were talking about. We've kind of known them, or not kind of, but we've known them since before they opened up. And a great brewery too. So it's not, a lot of people think I've heard when someone goes to a brewery they don't care for, and they'll say, "Oh, well, these guys aren't going to last." That's not always the case. There's breweries that I don't personally care for, but they've got a super loyal following.
Yes.
And so it's not always everybody's susceptible in this climate.
I wonder if there's a generational shift in tastes. The people that were very into craft beer and it's the hottest period of time, I think that they're hitting a point where they all have young kids and they can't drink the way they did. And when they do, they feel it more and it has more obvious health impacts on them, whereas younger people, they've got different tastes like that. Craft beer, well, that was that last generation. We're into hard seltzer and we're into whatever else, and
that's what I was sort of thing too, because I'm like, I'll be honest, my tastes have kind of changed, but I tend to drink more craft like whiskeys and things like that. Like I enjoy that more. Like I still enjoy a good craft beer, but my tastes have just kind of evolved a little bit. I'm sure I'll come back full circle, but that's always been the conversation we've always had about having, you just want a good lager. Just something simple, not something that has 10,000 adjuncts in it.
That's what I was going to say, Smalls. My drinking habits have definitely changed over the years. And I still go to craft beer more than anything else. But, Brian, we've talked about this like bottle shares where they're like, well, there's going to be 100 stouts here.
Yeah.
Those don't appeal to me as much as they did 5 or 6 years ago. I'm like, I don't want to sit around and drink 100 beers. necessarily.
I like,
you know.
I love those, but they got out of control, and I always remember how much it hurts the next day.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you don't remember, I have pictures.
Oh,
Most of that,
yeah.
Brian,
Yeah.
to remind you.
I'm sure. I'm
There's
sure you
always
do.
My
something.
terrible check-ins also. remind us.
Oh,
Your terrible, you drunk check-ins. Yeah.
well, some of those are great, and some of them are horribly embarrassing. I'll check stuff in and say things. So I'm like, wow, I really shouldn't have said that. Usually not like horrible, but just cringy. I do a lot of cringy drunk check-ins. They're entertaining if you're not the person writing them, basically.
Sure. Okay.
Are you the one that's doing 1 star? I hate this style.
No, I don't do that. I do off the wall stuff. I make weird puns or just non sequiturs that if you look at it, you're like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
And I look at that and say, what is wrong with this guy? Oh, that's me.
That's me.
Yeah.
That guy's got something wrong. Oh, it's me.
It's me.
me.
It's me. I was
It's
drunk.
a
Yeah,
me.
I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it. And usually I sort of remember where I was going with it, but not always. Not always.
Yeah. That's the fun of doing something alcohol related. You can always blame it on the alcohol. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd had a few. They're like, oh, I know. Yeah, I totally like our day jobs. No. Your code's all messed up, Brian. I'm sorry. I'd been drinking.
So for a while as a younger man, not this current job, not in a long time, I used to think I did code fairly well when I had a few beers. And I generally found out when I went back, like it seemed great at the time. I look at it again, like, ooh, that was bad. Why did I do that? That was really bad. It never worked out. It's fun. It's just not productive.
Never code drunk, Brian. It's just not a good idea. Or maybe it is. It's fun. Be entertaining.
You'll have to rework it. That's all.
Right. Yeah. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're going to take us another break, and we will be right back. Clear.
We got somebody peeking in.
We just had a phone
Okay. What the world happened?
Oh,
So he left earlier. It was like not even 10 minutes into the shift. Like we hadn't even opened the door.
Y'all, we've got a little situation we need to deal with here. One of our friends is having a medical emergency, so we're going to take a pause. We'll be back soon.
be right back. All right, we're back.
Y'all, thank you. Just had a little situation to take care of there.
Unexpected.
We have a friend who has fallen ill. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. He's going to go get some help.
Paramedics have him. They're checking him out, so he's in good hands.
Indeed.
In good hands. Hopefully, I don't know how good they are at being paramedics.
I've never.
I've
he
never
may
be in horrible hands.
Yeah, they might be
all
terrible.
I shouldn't say that.
I
Put
hope
that out in the universe.
That's what I was going to say.
He'll be fine, Tim, and they're great.
Joke. Terrible,
they're great
terrible
people. He'll be fine. I have announced it. It has been decreed, and it will be so.
It has been decreed.
Let me see if I can find my other. Am I missing a sheet here? This beer continues to be tasty. You know what? Yes, I should put page numbers on this. That would be awesome. Oh, I left the stuff and things in here too. That's great.
Stuff and things. We do always talk about those.
Yes, we got at least 2 of those in here.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spinning thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we are ready to do this.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our great radio affiliates, WVMT 620 AM and 96.3 FM in Burlington, Vermont. Catch Beer Guys Radio on WVMT every Saturday at 10 a.m. Now let's get back to the show.
Sometimes Brian gets a script, and even if it's totally meaningless, he's just got it there to read, so he reads it.
You know what? As long as we're on the radio, I'm still going to do the shout outs.
Okay. And it's a good station. One of our favorites.
I picked it because it's one of my favorites.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brian, we were talking last segment about closures and just changes, beer sales down on that. Mikeller closed its final U.S. location, and they're ceasing operations in the U.S. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Didn't you nearly go to one of those?
I did. So when I was out in San Diego, I stayed in the Little Italy neighborhood, and that is where their tap room was. I believe it was 3 blocks from me, but I went to other places, and in the time I had allotted out there, didn't get a chance to go there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yes, as you said, San Diego's Little Italy neighborhood, they closed it this week, and it was their last U.S. location.
Yep.
I didn't realize that until reading this. I thought that they had several across the country, but no, they've slowly been closing all of them down.
You know, it was slow. I believe you know what? You've got the info there. I think you'll cover all of it here, Brian.
I'll probably cover it all. Yeah.
All
Their production brewery in San Diego's Miramar neighborhood closed in August, while Mikeller shifted to contract brewing through AleSmith. The adjoining tap room closed on October 1st, with their San Francisco location closing October 22nd. Although Mikeller said the time would be they would be immediately seeking interested buyers for the Miramar facility and warehouse. New Mill Capital, announced the brewery's impending auction this week. The brewery faced allegations of a toxic and unsafe work environment in San Diego in 2017. In 2021, Mikeller was the subject of Super Cool Toxic Workplace, a podcast about working conditions at its locations in Europe and the U.S. Mikeller operates 40 retail locations in Europe and Asia. Its New York City outpost, a 20-barrel brewery and restaurant located in Citi Field, closed in October of 2020.
So there we did cover.
We covered all of it.
The timeline.
I had all the bullet points. So.
Yeah, I wanted to make it down to Mikeller. I did want to make it down there because it is one I enjoy. They do some unique stuff, but it just wasn't in the cards. I made it to Stone. One of their locations. I made it down to the Lost Abbey, which that was the one closest to me where I'm like, I can't miss this one. I got to get out there. And I don't know if it was the original painting or a print, but they had the Duck Duck Goose painting on the wall there, and I was tempted. I even posted a picture of it on Instagram and said I was tempted to steal it, which is probably not a good thing to do if you plan on stealing something.
Yeah,
borrowing, Tim. It's
borrowing. I'm going to borrow. I'll bring
I would
it
like
back.
to borrow this for a while for the studio.
Yes. Yeah. And the Instagram post showed that they knew where it was. Like, it wasn't like it was missing.
Mikeller is one of those interesting early, like, craft beer kind of elite type of. When I saw that, I'm like, ooh, we got some good stuff in town. Mm-hmm. They were the first ones I ever saw that did the large streak or series of just single hop beers. that you could, I think at one point there was a shelf that had a dozen of them. You could just pick the hop variety you wanted to try, and they brewed a beer with it. It was also one of the first beers I'd ever had that first IPAs I ever had that had coffee in it, which kind of blew my mind. It was not good.
Yeah, I think I remember that. But they did, what were their Beer Geek, Brunch and Weasel and Coffee, I think.
Oh, that's right. Those were pretty hype beers for
Yeah.
a while. They were harder to get, and when they came to town, everybody was excited about them. And it was one of those things where if you got it, you made a big
that
point
Mikeller or Evil Twin?
No, that was Mikeller.
Was it they did the Beer Geek,
I
the
believe
brunches and all that?
Yeah.
Was okay, gotcha.
Evil Twin did stuff like
they may have done some collabs with them on some of those. Is that right, Smalls? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think that I think Evil Twin was always Gypsy. I'm trying to remember
That's
now.
what I thought. It was,
and they were like brothers. So they weren't they brothers? They brewed
that may
together
have
and they split
yeah.
off. And I think that they're not on good terms. And subject of like movies and sitcoms and things like that.
I've read articles, I've
Yeah.
read stories, and so yeah, I know there's something there, but don't know it well enough to share the story.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
So yes, they will be missed, but apparently they still have a lot of facilities in Europe and
Yeah.
Asia, and we may still get some of it imported if you're a fan of Mikeller.
All right.
Yeah.
I am. There's so many things that when I hear some of these breweries are closing in that, it's like, oh, that stinks. But then I think, well, I haven't bought that in forever. When Fat Tire changed, I'm like, oh, bummer. But I can't remember the last time I bought Fat Tire, so I can't complain too much if I'm part of the problem there.
Well, and yes, you're part of the problem, but also a part of the problem is when was the last time you saw Fat Tire on draft anywhere? Like it's been a long time for me.
I don't know. Yeah.
I haven't been necessarily looking for it, but it used to be kind of a fallback option for me, and it slowly disappeared. Better fallback options, Creature Comforts, IPAs or Berliners or lagers or whatever, or Sweetwater 420, like local stuff. It's nice to have a local option, but that used to be it.
Mhm.
And at one point in time, they swept the country. So
they did.
Yeah.
But Brian, speaking of not being on draft,
yes,
Heineken has announced that there's 5 states they're pulling out of. They're no longer going to distribute that, or not no longer. But for the next 12 months, they will not distribute draft.
Yeah, this is a really interesting story. Heineken USA cutting the draft sales to 5 states. Interesting states: Vermont, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. I'm not sure what those states did to merit being pulled off of the draft account for 12 months, but
in all honesty, I believe they're lesser populated states. So
Well, that's
maybe
the thing. Those are the Montana or Wyoming, Montana, North and South Dakota are the last states I need to hit besides Hawaii. And I've been to all 50
to
states.
get off it. So
now
there you
I'm
go.
curious.
well, maybe
It's
it's because
good
you
you're not
haven't
a-
been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good you're not a Heineken fan to
No,
hit
no,
those
I'm
states
not.
because you're out of luck. You're out of luck.
Though they're NA, they're Heineken Zero or whatever.
Yeah.
That's quality. That's a quality if you like Heineken.
If you like
Yeah,
Heineken.
Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, so the statement I thought was a little confusing, but maybe that makes more sense if we know they're sparsely populated states. But the quote that they supplied was, "We have recently made a supply chain decision to streamline our on-premise product offerings for a small subset of partners across a few markets." So I'm not sure what that means, but basically no draft for those states for 12 months.
It sounds like it's pretty self-explanatory, and I think they go on to say it's due to supply chain issues.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they've just had to pick some places to make a little bit of a cut from in order to help their supply chain woes.
Yeah.
So if
I
I, go
guess they
visit those states, I will bring some Heineken with me.
That's it.
As barter.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I did when we went to Vegas. She was a huge Yingling lover, and they can't get
remember
Yingling
you
in
saying that.
Basic, so
Yeah.
I brought her Yingling. She was so happy.
Well, here's the thing. That may not work out well because Lagunitas, which they own, all the draft and everything for that's still going through, but their core brands in packaged formats, so the cans are still going to get distribution. Only
Oh,
draft
boo.
won't. So unless you bring kegs,
gotta
with
tote
you-
a
That's a
keg.
lot of weight.
Yeah.
There's a weight limit. Yeah.
So I thought, the supply chain issues and whatnot, I thought that might be it. But there's also, this corresponds with a change or the rollout of Heineken Silver, which is their new low-calorie, low-carb beer. I'm wondering if they have to pull resources in from someplace to support that rollout. And they're just pulling the draft from these states in order to pull this off. That's my
But
speculation.
again, that would be supply chain.
Yeah,
if
basically.
we've got this new product. We want to get out there. We want to do this and that. And, these businesses, man, there's so many charts and spreadsheets and graphs and deltas and all run sheets on what they need to do that they're making a very calculated decision there.
It's a really unusual decision, just because they're not saying it's permanent. Like after 12 months, I guess
Sure.
it's coming back, and maybe
reassess the supply chain.
Yeah, I guess.
But has there been any backlash? Have we heard anything from the folks that live in those states?
Not
I haven't
really.
seen anything yet. Yeah.
Okay, well then it's fine.
Well, there's
Right.
only
they're like, well,
Whatever, it is what it
all
is.
right.
there's only 5 people in each state, so you know
That would have to hurt Heineken a little bit. It's like we're stop and draft. They're all like,
Okay, we weren't
all
drinking
right,
it anyways.
that's
yeah.
fine.
Well, I'm guessing that has to be the ones at the lowest end of the sales. You know, you would figure you're not going to cut your big state accounts. You
Sure.
know, obviously, because that's really going to hurt. So it makes sense.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. That's what I was saying. It doesn't sound like that. Yeah, the math adds up, it seems, from what they're saying there. But Brian, let's share this one kind of quickly. We Deschutes, as we were talking about the growth of NA beer, and they're bringing their non-alcoholic beer production in-house.
Yeah, correct. They are partnering up with an organization that allows them to create highly concentrated beers without the alcohol that they can sell, water down, and sell as non-alcoholic, and it's supposed to be the best tasting thing they'd ever encountered. So they've been doing it, contract brew with them in Colorado. They're buying the product. Bruvo, I believe, is the name of the actual product, and they're producing their beer in-house going forward. So
You believe that's the name, or is it the name? Because I
It's
think we actually
Bruvo.
have it here in the.
it's Bruvo, and
Okay.
I do not have the name of the company that makes it handy.
Okay, well,
Yes,
we'll keep
but
an
there
eye
you
on
go.
that and see how that progresses. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Hey, hold. Just play the outro loop again. Same one. I can just cut it into it. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, you know what? In my notes, I didn't actually write that down or the name of the company that did it, but I do remember
Yeah.
Bruvo, BREW capital VO.
Yeah.
So they a process of brewing, removing alcohol, adding more wort, fermenting again, removing the alcohol, adding more wort, fermenting again, creating a very concentrated, basically non-alcoholic beer, and they put it in, I think it's bladders or bags in a box,
Okay.
and it's like great for shipping. And they've got another system that allows them to add back carbonation and alcohol and water as they need to serve it as a proper beer. So it's actually a kind of part of an overall suite of products that will allow you to distribute beer more cheaply and more efficiently, potentially. And they argue it tastes, the end product tastes as good as it would have just normally brewed. So,
Okay.
so that's the sum of that.
All righty.
Yeah.
Interessante.
Yes, indeed, Tim. Indeed.
Got a comment.
Oh, do we have a comment?
We do not discuss politics, Tyler. We don't know when it's going to end. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Put him in timeout.
There was a plague. If you don't recall, there was a plague recently that affected global supply chain. All kinds
Was
of
there
stuff.
that's the time era I like to refer to? I got both armrests
Both
on the plane.
see,
Oh, yeah. You were like
Becky
the
laid out,
And all
laid
the
out.
leg room.
That's right. You had all of the plane to
So
yourself.
just like, can I get an upgrade to first class? They're like, I'm sorry, but it's empty. You're like,
They're
don't
like,
give me
"You
that.
had
Don't
the
give
whole
me
plane."
that.
I'm like, heck yeah.
It's like they only have 2 passengers. I'm sorry, somebody else is in first class.
Yeah.
You get the regular
Right, you
guest.
secure- oh,
That's
those were the
it.
good old days. Yes.
It would be fun to be the one person in first class, just like.
Oh, it was
you're
great
you're
because how they
walking
would
by.
do it in
Do
first
you
class.
fly business or first?
Well, I
usually?
get bumped up to it a lot.
That's okay. Gotcha.
And so during that time period, when you got bumped to first class, you got the entire row in first class. So they would only put like 4 people and they would stagger every other row. Like you'd have one person on this side, one person on the other side. It was fabulous.
I can't
You didn't
remember.
get any of the perks of like drinks and whatnot, but at least you got like all this.
Could you
space.
bring your own on?
You weren't supposed to, but there's always waiters.
If they
Yeah.
won't, if they're not serving you something, why do they care
Look,
if you
you
bring
got-
it
Becky's
you
on?
got-
been in prison. She
You
could get
got
some
your
chips on the
311.
plane.
You can
Yeah.
work your way around
Yeah.
it.
By the end of the flight, she's got Pruno ready to go.
Yeah. How the hell did you brew that on a 2-hour flight? So
Don't ask me about that.
yeah.
That's right.
She's got that shit that you just add the water and the
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
to. She's
She
ready
has
to
this
go.
big old bladder and some alcohol
Yeah.
together, and she's got a whole tap system.
Good times, man.
I think it's
Good
Next
times.
Tap. I think that was the NEX TAP or something like that. Was the product that actually brings all the pieces together and lets you serve like beer at different strengths. It was kind of an interesting concept. There was an article about it a couple of years ago when they first did it. So you could have a black beet porter that's non-alcoholic. You could have one that's 5%, and then you could have one that's 10% if you wanted to, and you could ramp up like an imperial one, and you could just basically use the same concentrate to create all of these different beers and just on the fly on your tap system. Pretty neat.
Interesting. So would you start at the higher level and just like as the night went on, a little less start? Yes.
Start cutting people off.
Yeah.
A smart bar might do that. But I don't know. I think I might turn it all the way to 11 and just go right out the night that way because
Well,
that's how
that's
I roll.
you.
Yeah.
With
That's
your
it.
side pony beard.
Crank it up. Pony beard.
Comb under instead of
You go
throwing it away.
under.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Nate, would you acquire the end of the world?
A fin do. Oh, it's the last.
It is his
isn't
last segment.
Sadness.
It's the end of the world. See, I wish we couldn't get copyright strikes because we really need an REM song in
Yeah.
here about now.
Oh yeah, we do. I don't know if you saw it, but I do have a little bit of info about the beer itself. I put
What
it.
beer?
That's good. Yeah.
Fin
Oh,
did
about the
all.
Unibrew?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
The last beer. Opa.
Opa.
Guess that's not the meaning specifically down
Oh,
there.
so we've only got one more story and then this. huh?
Yeah. So
How about we do that? We talk about Unibrew and we just kind of go out talking about the show a little bit more.
okay.
Just do that. So
Because the last story is kind of meh.
The only thing I had
Yeah.
to contribute to that was meeting Jim Cook and how cool he was.
Oh, yeah,
And he was also
yeah.
my height, which made me feel good.
oh, I do.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
And I can add the story about the fact that he always has a full beer.
Yeah, I mean that beer breakfast was fabulous.
Yeah.
Like he was like, "Let's roll." We're
And he-
drinking first thing in the morning, and I'm like, "I need a cup of coffee." He's like, "Beer it is."
Yeah. So we'll save the story for the air, Brian, but this is a good one if we haven't shared it with you
Yeah.
yet about him and his full beer.
I just know that he drinks. I think he takes a yeast tablet, doesn't he?
Cheers, Patrick.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Thanks for stopping in. Much appreciated.
Yeah, he's the guy that says he takes a yeast supplement or yeast tablet.
You know,
To
I've
help-
heard that story, but I've never seen anything to
I've never seen him actually say it. but-
substantiate. To substantiate.
Where's Stephen P?
So why did you, if you didn't need that beer, why did you have me move it over? He's just like, I want to make sure.
The look he gave.
Because he's
you.
like, come on.
"It's okay, beer niece. You don't."
It's like me as a kid when there's more food on the table, bring it over here. I'm not done with mine. But I'm just gonna get to that.
You're-
part.
Well, I know I'm going to need that. So keep it
Yeah,
close.
just don't let anybody else get too close to it. This
Yeah.
is mine.
Yeah, like with dogs, you know how they're food motivated? I'm beer motivated.
beer motivated. Yeah. Keep
I was
it
gonna say,
close.
do you have siblings?
I do.
Okay, that makes
Okay.
sense then. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
put your claim in
To
right
fight
away.
for the food and or beer.
Why doesn't Ross, the largest friend, just eat the others?
Yeah. Yes.
That should be a trivia question.
Do you know what show it's from?
No.
Okay.
See, I lose.
See, there
I
is
know.
one. There is one I may be able to do a little
Lurf.
trivia.
Is it Lurf
It
from
is.
Persei? Damn it.
Omicron 8 or 6.
Some-
Persei Omicron and 6.
Oh, I haven't seen that show.
Was it Third Rock?
Futurama.
Futurama?
Oh, yeah, I
What?
didn't. Well, no, I have seen Futurama, but I've never watched like all the episodes. If you one of those things where
So
it's on, I'd
you
watch
being
it,
a
yeah.
science nerd, you should binge that series for sure.
All right,
That
I need something new to watch on the plane.
Yeah.
'Cause I've watched all the movies.
I've
right
seen
Yeah,
that through that show through probably more times than any other show ever. Probably.
I don't know the truth of it, but I think I heard some weird stat one time. Thank you, sir. That the scientific qualifications of the writing staff for Futurama was greater than the people that launched the Apollo missions.
Oh, really?
Their
Okay.
true education is. What up, man?
Oh, hey,
Come on
man,
in.
come on.
Come on. What's up, man? What's up?
Is it we can move, we
Yeah,
can
we'll
move
kick Bernice
Yeah.
out and give you. Actually, Orion, would you mind giving him that seat so we can mic him up?
Oh
Did
no!
Did she just get beheaded?
Bernice
She got
has
be-
been beheaded.
She's beheaded. Yeah,
It's the end.
it's a. You came at a good time.
Oh
so
no! The arm is off too. This
Oh
is-
no, Bernice is.
Well, I feel like we need to relive that moment of Brian getting the arm on
Yes.
it.
Well, we'll watch the video. We'll do is going to be him reassembling.
I-
You were
Hey, Scales,
so
you want to move over
Yeah,
there, man?
grab
We're
it.
going to get you on mic.
We'll get you on mic and trying to get my stuff out of the way here.
You solo tonight? No skinny.
Solo, man. Solo.
All right. I'm riding
I am.
solo. I'm riding solo.
Oh, see, we should have
Oh.
brought some pickles.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's still some
picklebacks.
There's still some pickle juice. I think there's
Hey,
still some pickle juice in
Y'all
there.
are the last of my pickleback friends.
See, the last of the pickleback friends. Scales, I was going to ask you, back in the day, did you guys ever do anything with Sierra?
The singer.
Yeah.
No, we did a song that reminds me of a song we did with Nivea,
Okay.
who is one of Lil Wayne's,
Lil Wayne, right?
Lil
Okay.
Wayne's mothers, baby mothers.
Okay.
But no, she reminded me of Sierra. That's why I
All
brought
right.
it up. But no, never done a song with Sierra. But we were close with Jazzy Faye, and he's the one who brought out Sierra.
Okay. Because
So
I was
we
going to
were
say,
right before her.
I wanted to see if you knew her because I wanted to date her, and I was going to see if you'd hook me up.
Could you
I might can make a call.
Yeah. All right.
I might
Thanks,
can-
man. I appreciate you.
I'm sure her and Russell Wilson are not.
Yeah,
doing
that's
that
fine.
good.
That's fine, man. I don't know how I stumbled on it, but I stumbled on the video for O the other day.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
her and
that will make
her and
you-
Luda in that. So I was like, man, she's super
That will
attractive.
make you shoot your shot.
Yeah, it will. Let's see. I'm like, what can she say? No. So
Yeah,
they can only
How's it
beat me
going,
up
man?
so much.
Yeah, well,
we gotta get him a
you have a
glass.
shot,
We
so
do.
You
Oh,
listen. Don't undervalue the
You got some.
the
right? Get
knowledge
some
of
over
beer.
skills.
Women love a guy who knows his beer.
There we go. I got
That's
that
right.
covered, Scales. That's for sure. That is for sure. I got that. Yeah, I got to end some of that old Atlanta rap from back then. Was listening to Luda, the Sierra. I've replayed that Sierra song like 100 times the last 2 weeks, man. I just burning it up.
That's been your
is
thing.
the video or the song or
Both.
Okay,
I think he's had it on mute.
yeah, just
Yeah,
on
I
mute.
just watching the video. Just keep
Just
it
on loop,
just
on
loop
mute.
it, sitting there watching her dance. So I swear I didn't find her social channels and stalk them for like an hour, just seeing what she's been up to. How you doing? So
She hasn't read it. If you want to.
yeah, okay. I didn't see.
You
I
might
should have
didn't figure
checked it
that
out,
one.
man. I didn't.
I'm surprised you spent a lot of time on Reddit. I'm surprised you didn't already know that.
Yeah.
Do y'all do beer Reddit? Like, do you go on like? I was told that if you want to know what's going on in craft beer, you could search your stuff in Reddit.
So
But that hadn't been true for me.
I am a moderator of the ATL beer subreddit,
Okay.
and we are the largest regional beer subreddit. We have almost 20,000 users on there. So
I gotta find you.
you got to check it out, man.
Yeah,
We ought to set up a Q&A with you
Oh,
and
yes.
Skinny. Do a
yeah.
Q&A on the subreddit. Let people chat with you about your beer.
Let's do it.
All right,
Yeah, that'd
we'll
be
do
a
that.
great
then.
idea.
That's a plan. We'll get that set
I
up.
love to talk about beer.
Cool, man. We will do it. Awesome.
And side note, I hadn't seen you since we did Pickleback.
I
Yeah.
know. Yes.
Did that ruin our relationship?
No, no.
I
Our
gotta
relationship
say,
was built on our hatred of okra.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
you both hate okra.
Okay.
I nearly brought in some
That's
some
life.
a little bit of the dried okra that I like
Oh,
to
yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
They're
See,
great.
Be one of my
I got some
favorite
comments
people.
here, all
We're
right.
trying to- Okay, what are we doing here?
We're
Hey.
about to record the fourth segment, and we're gonna. So, do you know what La Fin du Monde means?
No, I don't.
That means the end of the world, and that's why we chose it, because this is our last studio session. So, Beer Guys Radio will live on. So we're being a bit dramatic, but we thought that was appropriate.
Yes.
That's what I want
So-
to know.
Yep.
Amanda says, "Give you a hug." So I drink beer, okay? Amanda
I
there.
drink beer,
So
okay.
get that. Oh, Nick Tanner.
Oh, hey, Nick.
Nick, thanks. Nick said, "Thanks y'all for everything, all the years of support and dedication and passion to the industry. Thank you for giving a shit about all us small guys, and we do."
Always.
We
And we
always
will
have.
continue
Yeah.
to. So that's it. We want to make it clear, because I did make the La Fin du Monde thing to be dramatic, but we're not going away. We're just changing things up a little bit.
I'm
Yeah,
happy
so,
to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going away.
I'm happy to hear that. And shout out to Nick. Nick's the man. Yo. He
Yeah,
makes
I
crazy
saw Nick
business.
on TV the other day. Nick
Yeah.
was pitching cheeseburgers up in
Nick-
Chattanooga.
He's a
Yeah, they had
celebrity.
Burger Week
Like,
up there.
Oh.
So I saw him out there for Burger Week there. So
Nick's a celebrity, man. I hope I see him at the craft beer guild.
the Guild Fest,
the
we'll
Guild
have a
Fest
booth down
coming
there.
up.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Yeah.
a good
Joseph was here just a little bit ago.
Okay.
Joseph
Okay.
Cortez from the Guild.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought us some beer day glasses.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, cool.
Joseph,
Yeah.
I need my glasses, bro. I paid my fees.
You got we paid. I asked him. I said
Yeah.
Atlantucky. He's like, yeah, they just signed up recently. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're in
So
the game.
will that be your guys' first? Are you going to be at the fest or just hanging at the fest?
We're hanging at the fest.
Okay.
Disappointed to say we won't be in it.
All right.
We're just taking our time with distribution.
Okay.
We
Understandable.
want to have our chips together, man. We want to have it
Yeah.
together. We want to have enough people out there that actually are interested in
He's
that
really
Atlantucky.
low, man. Are his levels good?
Yeah.
He's hitting 30. I've got him low
Okay.
because he's popping, he's peaking really high.
Huh.
Oh, maybe
man.
on our mic speak though. I
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Does
I'm
he
not-
sound good in
No.
y'all's ears?
No,
Yeah.
he's not.
He's low, right?
Yeah.
So he's hitting 30.
Sounds low in my ears. but
There
There,
you
you
go.
sound
Better.
you sound
Yeah.
better now. How do you sound to you now?
Still the same, but maybe it's the headphone.
Okay.
You do sound a little bit better to me.
I bumped his
Yeah.
level up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
He's hitting the high end every time.
Okay. All right.
Huh.
We'll roll with it.
You know,
This mixer's giving us headaches. The last
Yeah,
few weeks,
that's
Scales. So,
yes.
I
This
don't have
makes
to worry about it.
Bro,
Anyway.
we started in the garage.
yeah.
Yeah, right. That's we're looking. We now own
Is it
4 or 5
mixers? Yeah.
because we've just kept upgrading, but we haven't tossed out our old ones. So we kept getting.
All of them have.
We actually
ports.
just bought another new one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
for a portable,
mobile. Yeah.
really cool little portable thing, Scales. It's got 4 XLR inputs, the headphone out, all in one little box there. So
That's what's up.
it's
That's
pretty
what's
cool.
up.
Doesn't it have a phone thing built into it too?
Yeah,
That little
yeah,
tiny
you can
thing?
run your
Yeah.
phone in.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm glad y'all guys take it so serious and always upgrading because Atlanta depends on y'all, man. Like we
appreciate
y'all
it,
are
man. We're
our
trying to do it.
central beer location, man.
Yeah, that's
So-
I got some.
A lot of people are depending on you, or a lot of
We're gonna
people
keep it going.
like listening to y'all, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it. That's
Me being one.
thanks, man. We were just talking earlier in the show about all the people we've met over the years, and meeting you guys, of course, and developing a friendship and seeing you go from collaborations to garage brewing to opening the brewery. L Sharpton, Elle and I were texting earlier today. So that's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
been
told
cool.
El about tonight.
Yeah.
he wish he could be here. He got to be at the Braves game tonight.
Okay.
Which we're not gonna complain about that.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Rooting for the Braves is a great thing. But yeah, El sends his love, man.
Good
El-
deal,
Yeah.
man. We're gonna do some stuff. We keep talking about doing stuff. We've done a little bit, but we could definitely do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well, El introduced us. So
Yeah. Yep. Monday night, L Sharpton, Beer Guys Radio, Nappy Roots,
Yeah,
Atlantucky,
Monday night,
all
yeah.
kinds of good stuff.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me one time after Monday night that, and I imagine you guys get this a lot, meeting people and hey, I'd love to talk to guys. But he basically told me he didn't know what to think about us. He's like, what are
Yeah.
these boys doing up in here, man? Just,
I
like,
can't blame him, honestly. Yeah.
and
that was-
you know what I'll tell you one thing I liked about you, Scales. One of the first beers that I shared with you was a Saison because we love Saisons. And I remember you taking a sip and going, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's not BSing anything. He's not trying to, he's like, no, I don't like that. Because you know what? It's good to talk to people when they're straight up about what they say and talk about it's cool that he doesn't like it, but it's interesting to kind of find out what do you like and why,
Right.
what are your flavors here? Cause everybody's got different tastes.
Yeah.
So
I've since then, that might have been my first Saison you gave me. Since then, I've met several people who that's their favorite beer.
yeah.
I think El Sharpton loves Saison. So
Mhm.
I've come to respect it. I know it's a flavor to respect. If it's not my favorite profile, that's cool, but I
That's
can
fine.
respect what it is. And yeah, you'll never see me buying a Saison, but I will try it when
Yeah.
you two guys offer it.
Mhm.
Because I trust you.
one of these days you'll have one. I'm like, hold up, that's good.
I'm
One of these
waiting.
days.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. You got to find.
And
find
that's
the
why
one.
it keeps trying him just in
Yeah.
case, for that one. It's like, all right. gotcha.
It'll be like it'll be a gateway saison, and before you know it, that's all you want to drink.
He'll have a French mustache, and so
a pencil thin type of
be
deal.
up there,
Yes.
Get
a beret.
That happened for me with IPAs. I kept drinking them. I was drinking the torpedoes, the Hopsecutioners, and I'm like, this beer costs more, so it's got to be something to it.
Yeah,
they're not charging more for this beer and not have a reason. So I kept drinking it. The hoppy beers, and then later it's just like one day when I wasn't even drinking, I was sitting at home like, damn, I want that flavor.
Yeah,
I want that taste.
Yeah,
it got you.
Blue, it got me.
It got you.
Out of the blue, it's like I want some hops, like, and not even knowing I
didn't
really
even know it,
hops.
right?
Yeah.
Just where'd that come from? Well,
Exactly.
I want hops. So.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. I know it well.
Stuff.
I know it well.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's knock out this last, and I mean that literally, last segment of the show in the studio. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What in tarnation?
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Beer Guys. Patrons get cool perks like Beer Guys swag, commercial-free episodes, and access to our brand new Discord server. Now let's get back to the show.
Back to the show, y'all. We have a special announcement before we roll along. One of our good friends just showed up at the studio. Fish Scales with Nappy Roots and Atlantucky Brewing. I should reverse the order there for now, right? Atlantucky Brewing and Nappy Roots, or do you have a preference?
Nah, bro. I take it
All
as
right.
they come. I'm all Nappy Roots and I'm all Atlantucky.
There you go.
But
Good stuff, man.
Honestly, I am slightly more excited about Atlantucky.
Yeah, good
I
stuff.
love beer.
That's, you know what? So we were talking at the beginning of the show about meeting Nappy Roots and that,
Yeah.
and the friendships that we developed through craft beer. And we met at Monday Night Brewing Scales, I guess 5-6 years ago now, right?
Yeah, we was doing
Front
our
porch,
first
right?
beer, Front Porch.
Yeah.
Promoting our album called 40 Acres. And we performed. We did a beer with Monday Night called Front Porch, which is a pale ale. And since then, we just been full speed. And Monday Night has played a very big integral part in us having Atlantucky.
Yeah.
So,
I know those guys. They definitely
Yeah.
supported that.
I've got
Sure
I
enough.
got a humdinger.
Yeah, Smalls
You
got a
got a
humdinger.
Yes, I brought the
A
last
bottle of
one.
humdinger.
Yes.
Listen,
Yeah, yeah.
people are on the search for humdingers. My dad has one, but he's kept it in the
Oh,
window
should I hold
the
on
whole
to
time.
it? Can I pay off my student loans with it? Should I hold on?
That's it. Soon,
Let's work on
soon there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a great beer.
It's
It was
fabulous.
the second beer we did with Monday Night, and we aged it for 10 months, and that's pretty unique. You know, back
Yeah.
then that was what 2017 maybe, and so we're still here, man, doing beer and still working with Peter Cowley. We actually have a beer in the barrel right now that we did a collaboration with Monday Night. It'll be Atlantucky's first barrel-aged beer
I was going to ask, barreled at your place, huh?
at our.
That's
place.
awesome, man.
Yes.
Good
Oh.
stuff.
You want to tell us
Good.
a little bit more about it, or is it a secret for now?
I'll tell you what, I'm quite mad at Peter, man. He came
Oh,
through
Peter.
and he really taught us how to make stouts. He told us you got to boil those things for about 2 hours to
At
really
least,
make a heavy
right?
stout.
At least, yeah.
To get a good heavy stout. And me being the head brewer, every minute counts. So when you're used to doing 1 hour boils, and now you got to do 2 hour boils, it's like a much longer day than normal. But I appreciate the knowledge, and now I know how to make heavy stouts.
Yeah. Now, see,
And Monday Night makes the best heavy stout.
they make good stouts. I can't wait till he's camping overnight at the brewery
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
do a
say,
24-hour boil.
Yeah, wait till he
On a
finds
beer.
wait till he finds out about those.
He
Like
slices
Yeah.
us off a piece of it. Y'all try this beer. Get you a plate.
Yeah.
Let me slice you off. Let me slice you off a piece
you need a
here.
fork with that beer.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Good stuff, man. Well, I tell you what, Brian, we got a beer here. Again, being a little cheeky with this La Fin du Monde,
La Fin du
which
Monde.
translates to the end of the world.
Yes.
We figured since this is our last studio session, our last radio broadcast, again, reminder to everybody, we're not going away, y'all. You can't get rid of us, but we are going to podcast only after a brief break. April 29th will be podcast only. So we've got this show. We're going to do our little beer fest show.
Yes.
Take a break and then new format there. So,
Correct.
but Brian, tell us about La Fin du Monde.
So like you said, Unibrew, it makes it. It's means the end of the world. The actual source of it it was a tribute to, man, I can't say that word, a tribute to Quebec, a land that was conquered or encountered by 16th century French explorers who thought they'd reached the end of the world. So explorers thought Quebec was the end of the world. So back then, makes sense. They sailed probably further than anybody had in hundreds of years, if ever.
Right.
It's a Belgian triple, 9% ABV, 19 IBUs. It's interesting. People don't really care about IBUs anymore, and I still appreciate knowing how many are in there. So only 19.
Folks still like to get rattled over ABVs. There's still plenty of chatter on that end.
They make this with a triple fermentation brewing process and a blend of yeast. So it's not a one particular yeast. They have a few different in-house. And this beer, this is interesting. I didn't know this when I picked up the bottle. It's coming up on its 30th anniversary. They've been brewing it since February 1994. I think that math checks out. That's like 29 years, right?
29 coming up on 30, like you said.
I got to check on these things because me doing math in my head, especially after having a few beers, it doesn't usually work out too well. So we have the traditional 750 ml bottle. It was cork and cage. Love that about this beer. I like having beer in that format. But I've seen that you can get this in cans now too, which is kind of crazy to me.
That.
Triples in cans, and that is what I have. What do you think about this beer?
I mean, I like it, man. It's rich. It's malty. Not a creaminess, but kind of fills on the palate because of the body of the beer. It's soft, luxurious. Luxurious.
It's almost got like a caramel apple type of thing. It's and I think it's not too effervescent, but it's like a soft, abundant carbonation that's quite nice. So I like it. I get a little bit of a little phenolic spice to it. Just just a touch.
A little drying bitterness on the palate, like on the very finish there.
Yeah.
So, but Scales, what do you think of this one?
This beer, it was one of my close friends who I came into the beer game with. He always said this was his favorite beer.
Nice.
I won't even try to pronounce it at this point. But he always said it was one of his favorite beers, so I always respected it every time I see it or try it. And I like it. Like, this is one of the better times I've had it. I've had it at times when it didn't really fit what I was eating or what I was drinking around the time.
Right.
This is, it reminds me, I miss searching for beers. Like that stage is kind of gone for me as far as, there's La Fin du Monde. I need to grab that.
Yeah.
Because now I have a brewery and all I do is drink Atlantucky. So seeing this beer, it reminds me, I used to really go around and see who had the most exclusive beers. And I missed this of buying one of these, going back to my place and just sitting down, drinking one of these by myself. Just studying the beer as opposed to me drinking 12 cups of Atlantucky a day.
Yeah.
So I miss this, man. This is really good. I get the sweetness. I get the candiness. There's no hop flavors to it, and I assume this style of beer doesn't really lend to hoppiness.
Right.
But the sweetness is great. Like, I love it. It's not too sweet. It's not boozy at all. And I assume it's high.
I think it's 9%.
9%. Very high ABV, not boozy at all. I get it.
Good.
I get it.
Yeah. It hides it so well. Now, a dry hop triple might be really good though.
Well, there's like Houblon Chouf.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Is that a dry hop golden ale or
I don't remember the style on Le Chouf, but I know it's
I shy away from spices. And beer.
Okay,
that's never been my favorite.
All right.
A few beers due to spiciness, but I do love just the slight maltiness of it. I could take that. I love it. I like it.
Yeah. See, I love that the caramel or toffee notes that you get from malts that you can get from some of those. Like a Big Doppelbock, something like that. Get those flavors.
Absolutely.
But I get you. That's there was one you shared with us one time from Against the Grain, and I believe it was a Vietnamese black tea stout.
Oh yeah,
you remember that black tea stout?
Narcos tea.
Yes,
Narcos tea. Yeah,
I think that's right.
$32 beer.
That was delicious. I mean, every now and there's something that, like, I like black tea, I like stouts, but the two of those together, I didn't expect what came out.
What was that, like
I'm
a
gonna have to try this one,
32K
yeah.
or
That was good.
wasn't the name of the beer like 32K or something like that?
That one?
Yeah.
No, this was a different one, I think, right? Because
Like a
32K
special
and
variant.
64K, they're another beer.
32K is that's probably their best beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a stout. But the Narcos tea is one of their boutique beers that you only get at the.
Oh, so it wasn't like a variance or something like that, or a one-off. They didn't add extra. Okay.
It was straight up. I think the beer that I shared with you, I think it was a $32 quart.
Yeah, one of those you splurge. All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
splurge. We can go a little crazy here.
It may have been the highest beer I paid. $32 for 32 ounce.
With inflation, I'm sure that's a $40 beer now.
Yeah.
It was early on, but still. So it was worth it. It was one of the rare times like, oh, this was worth it.
There's a beer from 50/50 Brewing called Eclipse, and they come in bombers, 22 ounce, and the thing is they'll do different color wax for the barrels that they put them in, and they used to be the rage, but some of these were like $50 for a 22 ounce bottle. And a few weeks ago, Brian and I were out, and I think it was $38 I paid for this bottle. I got to tell you, I was very thoroughly unimpressed with it. It just wasn't that good. It was kind of thin. It was harsh, a lot of barrel astringency. So just didn't deliver. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. You roll the dice every now and then.
I do remember in the past, they used to be, some of them were extremely good, but some of them were more sought after than others. So it really depended on the barrel.
Well, y'all know Mike Nate has told me we have come to La Fin du Monde for the show. Scales, you know what? Real quick, let's give you a shout out. Where can people find out about Atlantucky Brewing?
You can go to atlantucky.com. I recommend you go to Instagram or Facebook and just search Atlantucky. Not Atlantucky, Atlantucky.
Right.
It takes you a few times.
Drop the A from Atlanta and put an ucky on the end, right?
Look us up, man. Or look up Nappy Roots.
There you go. You'll find it.
You can type those 3 words saying Nappy Roots beer, and you'll see Atlantucky, or you'll just see Nappy Roots, all the stuff we're doing anyway. So, man, thank y'all for the shout out, man.
You bet, man. Thanks.
Love y'all,
Glad to have you
man.
here. Thanks, man. We love y'all too. Appreciate it. Y'all, that wraps it up for this episode of Beer Guys Radio. The end of an era for Beer Guys Radio. Last session in our studio, last radio session. We continue to live on, rising from the not so much ashes as BGR 2.0, April 29th. Do not miss that. We'll be there. We thank you so much for following along, listening to us these last 7 years. As always, have a great week, and don't forget to drink local. Cheers. There we go. Clear. Y'all.
And we're still streaming.
To BGR and Atlantucky.
Oh, man, I'm out of beer.
Cheers, y'all. Cheers,
y'all. I got a little in there. It's okay.
I got a little bit. It's mostly backwash, but whatever.
Y'all on the live stream, thank you for being here with us for our final studio. I feel like we need to give respect to the fact this is our last show.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to hear this and be like, oh, my God, no more Beer Guys Radio. So I'm making it clear we're still here.
Yes.
We're still here. We're just doing a little change up here. We're
dealing with this Mevo bullshit.
We're just doing a little change up here.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're saying goodbye to radio.
We're evolving.
Yeah, we're evolving.
We're still here, just not right here.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years.
Exactly right.
So, that's it.
Y'all gonna take all the beer with you?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
One way or the other.
Everything goes. Thanks, Patrick. Yes, long live BGR 2.0. That is the truth. The mood I can have in your stomach, right? I can get at least. He's like, I can get at least 10 of those out of here.
Right.
So,
Between he and I, we'll probably finish off the entire fridge.
Are
yeah.
empty. Yeah.
100 beers, 100 beers.
Gosh, we got close. Y'all, we're going to sign off here. We're going to have a few more beers to say goodbye to Beer Guys Radio Studio. We will see. We do have another show. We have this show coming out this weekend. We are going to do at Little Beer Fest.
Yes.
The format will be the same there, but I think
it's all
because of timing, I don't think it's going to be on the radio.
Yes. I don't
and then
think
a
that's
week
going on,
off, and then BGR 2.0. That's the plan. Y'all have a good one. Have a good, I guess, probably a few weeks before we see you again. Drinking some good beers. We'll see you soon. Cheers, y'all.
It is so important that you drink some good.